So, guys, welcome back to Deeper Than Most. I'm your host, DJ.
And I'm your host, Sav.
So, what's on the docket today?
Well, first, today is episode 15. And on the docket for today is the Stan Romanek story.
So, I see that you throw it up as a fact or fable type deal.
Yes. This is because this story or his findings have been concluded as a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
But not all of it has been factually proven to be a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some things that might be real, some things that might be fake.
In other words, we got some motherfuckers that think he lying, and some people just like, yeah, no, this nigga legit.
Yeah. And it's really divided too. But it gets deeper, and we'll get into it. And it's going to be a long one. So grab your snacks. We have ours.
Popcorn, get your whatever you like to eat, your veggie straws, popcorn.
Yeah, we have chips and salsa. So that's what we're snacking on for today. And before we get into this whole story, we have a really interesting intro topic for today. This current event is out of this world. And yeah, I feel like it just needs to be talked about.
It's a very cosmic turn of events.
Yes, it just goes along with the theme of today's video. So for today's intro topic, we are going to be talking about Nuwa. I think that's how you say it. Basically, we're going to be introducing Nuwa. And Nuwa is, if you haven't heard of it, is the new mega city of the future. And not just any mega city, not just something in the States or out of the States. It's going to be on Mars. So, it'll be the first cosmic mega city.
That's kind of cool, man. Think about it. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Futurama or anything like that, but it's kind of cool to hear that we can go to another planet and be in the city. You know?
Yeah. Well, to just live.
Yeah, all that want to just be existing and doing business or whatever we have to do on the planet, you know?
Exactly. So this concept was created by Abibu Studio and Sonet. This vision that they came up with is actually meant to be the first capital on Mars.
Nice. And
this civilization or this city that they're trying to create on Mars, they kind of estimated and sized it out up to scale. How many people can we get to live in this city? And that number that they came up with was 250,000 people would be able to live on this or in this city.
Pretty decent sized people.
Yeah, it's a pretty good amount. So the city is once again called Nuwa, and it was originally created or thought of by the astrophysicist Guillaume Inglada. I think that's how you say the name. And Guillaume was the first person to discover the exoplanet Proxima b.
I haven't heard of any of this.
I haven't either. So, the chief architect, Alfredo Munoz, and his team created the design and the digital artwork for the city. And included in this design was an urban parks, hydroponic gardens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool, man.
So, yeah, there's going to be urban parks and hydroponic gardens. I don't know what a hydroponic garden is, but it sounds cool. And the team thinks that construction could begin as early as 2054 and welcome its first wave of colonists by 2110. So, probably not in our lifetime.
2100.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 2100, my bad. So not in our lifetime, probably.
Probably not. But hey, at least it's going to happen.
Yeah. And according to the official report about this city, the design for this mega city includes 5 cities kind of interlinked to create this. And making Nuwa the capital.
Nuwa.
So yeah, that's all we have for the intro topic. There is more about this city that they plan to build, so we recommend doing your research and seeing what else there is to know.
Some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling to me because it's like, damn, they're really doing it now.
Yeah,
they're really doing it. And I mean, finally, it's been a long time coming, but I just wish that it would be in our lifetime.
I mean, who said this now? I mean, that's just an estimate.
Do you think you're gonna live till 2100?
I mean, it's just an estimate. It could happen. And
that's 80. That's at least 80 years.
Again, it's just an estimate. Who says what could happen between now and a couple of days?
That is true. Yeah. So now we're going to get into the Stan Romanek story, and it's going to be a fun one. This is a wild little ride. So
it's how you say a doozy.
Very much so.
So just a little bit about Stan. He grew up as a military brat, which is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And also, growing up, Stan was placed in special needs classes. Well, you know, watching the documentary, he used another word, but Jesus.
Yeah, he was using other words. But, just a disclaimer, we did get all of this information from the Stan Romanek documentary. It's called Extraordinary.
You guys should check it out. It's
free on YouTube. Yeah. So.
He was also bullied in school and became somewhat aggressive to defend himself from the bullies.
Yeah, so, which I feel like happens more often than not. Definitely. Which is sad, though. Like, I hate bullies.
It is pretty sad. But it's like, you're mad because I'm not what you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. So, over time, he learned to move on and became more mundane. So, he
grew out of it, which is good because not everybody does. Some people stay aggressive.
Right. He's also always said that growing up, he did not believe in UFOs and thought people who did were kind of crazy. And how ironic, you know. He has a whole...
It takes one to know one.
Right. Excuse me. Stan always believed it was just us in the universe and nothing more, which, in my personal opinion, doesn't make any sense.
No, I honestly... Is it bad to say that I hate when people say that?
Yeah, I do too, because...
Because, like, what sense does that make?
Because my thing is, like, everything is alive in a sense. Like, plants are alive, the earth is alive. So why would there
That's true.
Only
so
be...
really everything in the solar system is alive.
Right.
But
why would it just be us being the most...
On terms of, like, actual, like, intelligent life, it's just hard to say that we're the only ones. Like, we're it. Like, that's it.
In the entire universe. Which we can't even see outside of the realm of our universe. You know what I'm saying? So
because we're not that great.
Exactly.
So to think that we're like top notch, it just doesn't sit right with me.
At all. Even in his adulthood, he stood strong in his theory that we were the only ones in the universe.
Right.
Until his first big event. It changed his entire perspective. Stan was married to a woman named Lisa, and he was also a stepfather to her kids. After his first encounter, although many more followed, it took Stan about 2 years to come to terms with the things that he witnessed.
So, evidence and the background. Since 2000, Stan had documented over 195 ET events. That's a lot.
You know,
almost too much for one person.
Right. And I mean, we can't literally discredit it because, you know.
It's not us. But
at the same time, it's like, can you really be, you know?
Stan's first encounter happened on December 27th, the year of 2000. And since this encounter, he has documented every experience he has had since. So, conveniently, he's just always been prepared. And it's crazy because, like, we have our own, like, experiences that we've been through. And every single time, we haven't caught any of them.
Well, I'm saying not...
Like, every single time, like, we're never prepared. You don't prepare to see things. So, it's just funny that he was prepared every single time.
Odd. That's 195 times that you have to just know that you're going to see something. You know what I mean?
Right. During his first sighting at 11:45 a.m. on On December 27th, a multi-spherical UFO was spotted by Stan and dozens of others in the area. So also keep in mind, every witness account that Stan talks about or documents, he was never the only one. There was always other people present. There was always other witnesses. So if you think about it, that gives him a lot more credibility than somebody that just claims they've seen something that nobody else has seen. So the object was hovering above the power lines and leading up towards Red Rocks in Colorado, which was where he was headed because I believe he was taking pictures to send to his wife Lisa because she wasn't living with him at the time. So he just wanted to show her the view, and he ended up seeing that.
Here are a few key experiences in Stan's journey. On September 22nd, 2001, Daniels Park UFO sighting. Around 9 p.m. as Stan was driving up a hill to Daniels Park one night, when out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a big red, blinking sphere-shaped UFO. He claims the light followed him up to the park, then flew over the group of friends he was meeting at the top of the hill.
How convenient.
And I don't know if you know, but did his friends even bring it up to him or say anything about it?
I don't believe so. It didn't say anything about that. It was just him.
Of course.
Yeah.
On August 2nd, 2008, Stan photographed a large disc-shaped UFO from the back sliding glass doors of his house. He said it was hovering pretty low above the house down the street. He also noted, seemed to wait for me to get my camera. Pretty interesting little section right there.
Yeah.
Seemed to wait for me to get my camera.
Right. How convenient. That's what you think. Do you believe it? What?
September 2nd, 2008. Stan was working in his home office one day when he noticed a very large triangle-shaped UFO as he was looking out of his office window.
Yeah. And it's it always happens by chance.
Like I said,
he just so happened to be in the area, just so happened to look out the corner of his eye, happened to be in his office, in that particular room, in that angle, looking out that window.
At that moment, it's
it's just too perfect and too calculated.
Right. At that moment, it's 3 for 3. And it's how? You know?
More like 195 for 195.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, we can't discredit because you never know.
Right.
So, strange equations. So, Stan's experiences kind of went further than, oh, I saw this, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
He was retaining information from these visits. He was learning things from these beings. Things that normal people would not know. We don't know. Right. So, upon being visited and citing so many events since his first, on June 25th, 2002, Stan wrote his first equation while in the presence of a hypnotherapist. And this therapist was Dr. Lindman. Yeah.
Hypnotherapy is an interesting study because I wonder if it actually works. I mean, because, there are a lot of people that, go to deal with their traumas or whatnot, and they go to a hypnotherapist, and I wonder if it...
But I've heard that with hypnotherapy, it's not always suppressed memories.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, it's memories that the therapist puts into your head.
So they're implanted memories.
Yes. And so, it's hard to say that hypnotherapy is credible because of that.
Because, memories can be implanted. Because it's just like that thing.
Because you're completely subdued to the point to where that is possible.
And it's also like that thing, if you say something long enough, you start to believe it. So
Oh, yeah. So at this meeting, Stan was able to write out the Drake equation in full. And if you don't know what the Drake equation is, the Drake equation is one that is used by scientists to determine an estimate of the total number of active and communicative civilizations there are in the Milky Way galaxy. And I believe I tried to do some research. I am not good at math. I am not a scientist. I am not a credible source. Mm-hmm. But I believe when the original Drake equation is used, scientists multiply the equation by 1 because we are one. We are one civilization. So if there's one of us, they multiply it by, so there's, I don't know how to explain it, but basically they use like, okay, we know that there's one Earth, so let's multiply active and communicative civilizations by 1 because we know that we are an active and communicative civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Now, say there was one on Mars, then there would be 2. You'd multiply it by 2.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that would go, I think.
I mean,
but
I could look deeper into it and try to
it's
figure it out.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like, it's not even English. But given with all this information, when Stan wrote down the Drake equation, he multiplied the probability by 100. So
where the fuck?
Multiplying the Drake equation by 1 already gives like a pretty high estimate of like how many civilizations there could be. But multiplying it by 100, he must have seen some shit.
Known something something. He has to know something in order to get that type of information. You know?
Yeah.
And continuing on from that, after the meeting, Stan went on to write more sleeping equations. So he wouldn't only write these while he was awake, he would also sleepwalk and write them as well.
Yeah, like at home.
Yeah. Other equations he knew include the Syriac Aramaic symbols he wrote that the regular being wouldn't know. So,
Well, no. The other equations he knew included the Syriac Aramaic.
Syriac Aramaic.
And the Syriac Aramaic is the Estrangula Certo, but the Estrangula Certo is the symbols.
Ah, okay.
But that's the name for the symbols, but that is that. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Okay. Over the years, Stan continued to draw many more equations that the normal person or any person would know. But he only drew these diagrams during regressions or in his sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's pretty.
But the fact that he was able to
do it in general,
things that the normal person would not know. Like, where'd you get this information from?
Right.
It does have me questioning, like, could you have been visited by somebody or something?
That's just information you don't just wake up.
It's not like you can Google it.
Right.
Not back in 2000. The internet was barely a thing. Yeah. So, the abductions. This is when the abductions start and when shit starts to really hit the fan. So, on September 21st in 2001, Stan has his first known abduction. Although he didn't remember the abduction itself, he was confident in the aftermath. He went to his sister for an examination, and she pointed out indentations in a pattern on his back. So, it wasn't even just like random or sporadic. It was like...
strategic pattern.
Yes, very strategic. So, Stan also noticed sores around his wrists that appeared to be the markings of him being handcuffed or restrained by a tether or a rope. So, these were like really deep indentations like in his wrists. And you could just tell, like, something was wrapped around his wrist. Like, it was very deep. It was very obvious.
That's crazy.
And there's even pictures of it. It's crazy because the next day, after the incident, the deep sores on his wrist had simply vanished. And mind you, he was documenting all of this. So, in the video, there are timestamps, and it's very clear that the next day, his hands are, like, clean, like, brand new, like, nothing had ever happened. There's no way.
There's
no way that would happen.
It's unexplainable. Because it's like, that doesn't happen, like, the way that the human body regularly...
It would take time.
Yeah, it just take, like, a couple of weeks for that type of stuff to heal. But for him to heal within
for it to be a deep mark,
Yeah.
So, over the next coming years, he documented countless marks found on his body, all in similar shapes or patterns, and they all included dots. So, like, down his back or down his arm. Yeah, it would be like, almost like Morse code in a sense or something. Like... It was very... What am I saying? Morse code?
Morse code.
Not Morse code. I meant Braille. Like, it was like dots. Like, you know how Braille writing is? Like, it's literally just perfectly aligned dots. It's very weird. And they don't look like they could have been made by anything else. Like, I don't know what they... there's no explanation for it.
Right.
Every time he found marks on his body, they were located in a different spot. So... one time they'd be on his arm, the next time they'd be on his leg, after that it'd be on his back. It would just change every time, almost as if somebody was like every time,
So
every time, but in a different spot.
How you would fake that? Like,
yeah, I don't know. So over time, the marks started to change and become different in design as well.
This ain't getting a whole new body. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, continued abduction proof. On August 11th, 2007, Stan documents the aftermath of what appears to be a bloody nose. Just like out of the blue, just bleeding, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a straight up picture. And we'll put it up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ow.
Of him just standing there with a bloody nose. And he took a couple of these pictures.
Yeah, no. When I saw that, I was like, wow, so his wife beat him up in his sleep?
Yeah, like, yeah, if you were to look at those with no context, you'd be like, what the fuck happened to this dude?
October 7th, 2003, Stan wakes up outside again. His house doors were locked from the inside. He had another bloody nose, and when he went to use the bathroom, he documented how he was peeing blood as well. Ooh. Yeah, this don't sound too good at all.
Something is wrong.
So either, yeah, you probably need to
get that checked.
This definitely raised an eyebrow with Stan, so he decides to dig a little deeper. After the evidence was added up and questioned, Stan checked his home surveillance system, which was installed like a couple of weeks prior, and he found this. If you guys check into the documentary, just like listen to how he talks. Like for me, it was a little off-putting because it's like he seems like super excited, and then there's a passage of time that goes by, and then something happens, and then it just happens each time. So just like pay attention to how he speaks. I thought it was weird, but
shows a mysterious light beaming onto the side of the house and the grass nearby. Then it hovers over some bushes. Then the camera gets disrupted as the light abruptly moves away. So, after watching this video or this clip, it really has me thinking, was this Stan on the roof with a flashlight? Because that's what it looks like to me.
It's just like somebody moving the flashlight around, yeah?
Literally. And, like, yeah, it's grainy. Yeah, it's in black and white. But you can tell, like, what the light of a flashlight looks like. Yeah. Like, it has the ring, it has the dimmer ring, then it has, like, a brighter ring. So, like, I don't know. You guys tell us what you think, because I personally think it could have been him on top with a flashlight.
My man was making this happen. Like he said, y'all gonna believe me whether y'all want to or not.
Yeah, or it was visitors from another home base.
Which I hope. Like,
right, yeah, honestly. Like, as bad as this story is, and as much of a hoax and a lie it all is, I wish it was real, because
I mean,
that would, like, answer a lot of questions, you know?
And like I said before, man, there's parts of it that are like, hey, I don't think
that are questionable, like, but in a good sense.
Yeah, I don't think we can, like, say this didn't happen. But.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't fully discredit the dude, especially when there's other witnesses that are involved. Like, his first experience, like, that was off on the side of the road. I don't think you can plan that. Other people were
he's not
stunned
the only
as
one,
well.
You know?
Yeah. So the next day, Stan went outside to see the side of the house where the footage was shot, because that's where he had his surveillance camera set up. And upon inspection, he noticed that the paneling on the side of the house was singed in a perfect arch shape. And it was, like, arched around the camera.
Oh.
So, almost as if, because you could see, like, a flash of light beam in the, like, video footage. And he thinks that that, like, flash of light had messed up the paneling on the side of the house and singed, like, a perfect arch. So that way, okay, it's, like, bright in the middle, and then, like, on the outer parts of the arch is, like, dark, where it, like, burnt the house.
Where it's, like, singed.
And it's all around the camera.
Oh, okay.
And maybe as if they were trying to disrupt the footage.
Yeah, definitely.
To cover their tracks. I don't know. Because think about it. It could have been him on the roof with a flashlight. But if it was, how do you explain the camera just cutting out the way it did? Because it wasn't like it just shut off. It was disrupted.
Yeah, it literally, like, had an interference.
Yes. So later this day, Stan sees a few workers changing the paneling outside on the side that the incident occurred on. Stan states he never called for this service and even confirmed with his landlord, and they did not request this either. So these people just came out of nowhere. He woke up, they was at his house, putting paneling on the side.
Yeah, like, crazy, just doing it.
Right. He over here trying to make coffee, and they just knocking on the side of the house with their hammers and stuff.
Hello, y'all, were y'all called? Like, how'd y'all get?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, according to Stan, the strange men refused to speak with him and would not look in his direction when he spoke to them.
Oh, they just fixing his shit.
Well, that's not weird to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They just fixing his shit.
Why? No, it got to the point to where when he would so they're facing the house, right?
Uh-huh.
So he would walk up to them, say he's on their right side and he's facing them, trying to look at them, hey, I'm talking to you. They would turn the other way and not allow him to see their face.
Oh, I see.
That's some Men in Black type shit.
Yeah.
So after they left, Stan went on to research the company on the van that they came in and quickly realized the company wasn't even real. It didn't even exist.
That's weird, dude.
That's weird as fuck.
That's weird as fuck.
Why? I'd be scared.
Because niggas just fixing on my house. Y'all ain't talking.
How you know where I live? The landlord didn't ask for you. I didn't ask for you. Nah. I would move.
Straight up.
I'd move that day.
Because
that's weird as hell. How they know where you live? Who asked for them? Why they won't let you see their face? Why won't they say anything?
It could be related to those coordinates they kept putting on.
That's weird. Well, quantum points.
Right. Quantum random points.
Mm-hmm.
So, May 9th, 2006, my bad, Stan documents that he was taken again. And this time, he was claiming they fixed my knee. Which, for context reasons, I'm guessing...
Read.
Stan had previously broken his knee and was going to need surgery until he was visited. He called his doctor and explained that the surgery should be canceled, but his primary doctor did not believe him and set him up to see another doctor in the office about it. But it was indeed true. The doctor looked at Stan's knee and concluded that the marks left behind his knee could be bug bites, but there was no evidence it could have been. He even suggested it could be something more, given that the markings were in a perfect straight line. Oh,
the doctor wasn't having that shit. They was trying to get their coin.
They said, "Yo, we're gonna need you to come in so we can see."
And there's even a video call, or not a video call, but a call that's recorded of him talking to his doctor. And she's like, "Stan, we can't just cancel
surgery.
The surgery.
Yeah.
I'll set you up with an appointment with my doctor or with my assistant, but he's just gonna tell you the same thing."
Right.
But he didn't. So Stan continued to awake with new scars and injuries, all in various patterns and places. He also notes finding another grass circle in his backyard. Could it have been a baby crop circle? Because I wonder if that's a thing. We know that crop circles are definitely a thing, and they're more common than what
Most
people
think so, yeah.
what people know and what people talk about. But baby crop circles, I've never heard of that until this story, you know?
And, even seeing it in the documentary, I was like, huh, that's interesting.
And it's, perfect. Crop circles are very intricate, and they're very, precise and perfect.
Yeah.
There's no way that they could be man-made, at least the large-scale ones.
Yeah, no, the
baby ones, that shit was small as hell. Maybe he could have did it.
That circle was a little too perfect. I don't think he could have.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have made it happen.
Yeah, that's true. So, we're going to go ahead and take the time to thank our sponsors, and we will continue on this journey. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and it's easy to use.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, making it so you don't have to upload to each individual platform.
And the best thing about it, you can make money straight from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So please, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And that's anchor.fm, spelled ANCHOR.FM.
So what are you doing? Download the free Anchor app now.
So guys, now there are some odd happenings. On July 14, 2005, Stan and his wife Lisa invite Christopher Moon to their home for a potential ghost. Upon Moon's arrival, an investigation is launched. So, Stan says that Moon thought they had ghosts or something, and he listened to the audio at full speed and heard low groaning sounds. He then sped up the recording to 13%, and it is clear that a woman's voice says, "Starseed, it's time."
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
And it's funny because it sounds like a British woman.
Yeah.
Like a young British woman?
Yeah.
Just a random...
Like she late 20s, probably early 30s.
I don't know, but it's just a young British woman.
After Moon's visit, Stan started to document weird occurrences in his home, recording shadowy figures walking by. And
this shit is crazy because we're about to put some of those pictures up, and they're very prominent dark figures. Like, it's not just a faint, like, ghostly looking figure. No, like, that bitch is dark. Like, you could tell. You could really tell. And it's crazy because most paranormal proof, I guess you can say, like, it's harder to tell, you know, like what you're looking at sometimes, and it's not always clear, but not with Stan's evidence. Stan get it right every time.
Pretty clear, man. Pretty clear.
Stan be on it.
He also captured many pictures of very dark, ominous figures. In some photos, you can see his cats in awe at the entity.
Yeah.
And, you know,
now, how do you explain that?
Right, because, you know, animals be on it. Like,
right, yeah, exactly. So the fact that they were, you know, like, so captivated by whatever they saw, it had to have been something.
Right, it had to have been something. May 22nd, 2008. Stan is working in his office when he hears humming in the living room. He stepped out of his office just in time to see who he calls the Shimmer, standing in his living room next to his recliner, holding the TV remote. This nigga watching TV.
Time to move.
Right, gotta go. You can have this house. You can have this land.
You can have it all.
I swear,
you can have my alien findings. I don't care. Keep the artifacts. Keep the proof. Keep it all.
Right.
But you watching TV in my house?
But also, if these were aliens or whatever, it's like they're studying us too. So they're like probably like, oh, well,
what is this?
What do they do for it, you know?
No, but babe, you gotta see the picture. I mean, it very much so looks like a ghost, you know, but it's so funny because, like, the TV remote just there and he literally right next to the recliner. It's funny. Let me see if I can show you.
Let's see if we can find it. That sounds like a funny visual because why he just got the TV remote.
Where is it? Okay, well, I can't find it to show you. But the figure looked like that, but it was holding the TV remote.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah, it's dark and obvious, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can't.
Yeah, like, how can you fake that? And if so, like, you went a little too far. That's why it looks fake. Yeah. You know? Like, it almost looks too real that it looks fake.
Right.
So we continue on, and Stan quickly realizes that they're always watching. And this is because on April 26, 2004, a strange woman stopped by and put something in Stan and Lisa's mailbox. On the paper, someone had wrote, "Stan and Lisa, good luck on your move to Colorado. And remember, we are watching."
Bruh,
I would be gone.
All this weird shit happening to his house. Like, first,
I would be gone.
Niggas just fixing your shit. And
yeah.
Now, motherfuckers.
Shadowy figures holding the TV remote? I'm gone.
Buy your recliner. The place that you're the most comfortable, bro.
Like, no, I'm out of there.
Yeah, nah, I gotta go. Cause, like, what?
They can have it. They can have it all.
Y'all can pay the mortgage on this shit.
For real. Need it. So, December 20th that same year, Stan photographs his face after allegedly getting jumped on his way to work.
No, his wife beat his ass.
Gotta be. The group told him he needs to keep his mouth shut, to which he replied, "You're crazy. How could I stop talking about this stuff? Everyone needs to know about this."
My nigga said, "This is dope, and everybody gotta get it."
Hey, but is he wrong, though? Because, like, think about it. if it were you and somebody beat your ass, it was like, you need to shut the fuck up talking about that shit before the world find out they ain't ready. I mean, shit, you'd probably be like, man, you crazy as hell. Everybody would have know this. So, yeah, he was making it known that everybody's want to know this, like, for real. So, January 3rd, 2006, Stan notices that one of his computers had been wiped clean and the words "you can't hide" replaced all text on the screen, as well as every other computer in the house.
Yeah, fuck all this shit. You can have
so everything, even down to like his settings, like everything just said "you can't hide."
That's too much, bro. Yeah, fuck this shit. You can have this computer, this house. You can have my wife if you
got
want.
My life, goddamn.
Right.
I'm gonna need it. I'm done. So I've seen enough. So February 2nd, 2007, Stan was prescribed meds from the doctor.
Ooh.
He took them home, put them away, but every time he would go to take the pills, the pill bottle and the pills themselves would be melted. Every time. And some were so burned, they were completely charred. Like, you'd grab it, and it would just crumble in your hand.
Shit. He went in there and burned
Maybe. No, but the picture though, that shit is burnt to a crisp.
They were pretty crispy.
Crispy as hell. Crispy as pills.
Crispy. On to some encounters. Orbs. Stan started seeing red orbs around his house. On September 7th, 2002. The first being one that was spinning outside near his garage. My man said, hey.
No, this is funny because a lot of people that speculate on Stan's story, they talk shit about this because it looks like when you look at the video, it looks like somebody has a cat laser and they just clicking the button and moving it around the butt. It literally looks like a cat laser.
That's funny. May 31st, 2003. The one floating past and in-house motion activated camera. Okay. So it floats past, but...
And it's clear as day.
Right. Since it's motion activated, did it... You know what? Whatever.
The camera turned on when it saw it come in frame.
Okay, cool. Look at him. That's why he always ready. He got all these...
No, but this was like after though. Like, we did see shit. Before all this, that nigga was just ready. Like on 10, on go every day.
Oh, there it is again. Goddamn. Lisa.
Get the camera.
She out there falling out the fucking shower trying to help.
Bro, I swear.
February 17th, 2004 at 3 p.m. Another orb was caught floating in front of him as he records himself.
This one's pretty clear too. Yeah. It almost looked like it went inside of him.
Could have.
Maybe.
That's why he be acting up.
That's
that same day, an hour later, he records a small circular single mark.
Singe, baby.
Oh, singe mark on his wall. He concluded this was due to the orb using the wall as an exit point, leaving the faint ring.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then...
And you can see the singe mark, and it's pretty weird because it's literally just in the wall, and he thinks that it's an exit point. Like they were inside of his home and they were trying to get out and fuck a door. Like, let's go through the wall.
That's kind of fire though. Like, January 24th, 2005. At 11:40 p.m., Stan woke up due to a ringing sound in his ear. He checked the surveillance right away, and he captured a small flying object with lights zooming through his backyard. This nigga the backyard again? Or
no,
Little Einstein.
But babe, hold on. Let me see if I can at least find this clip just to show you right now. Because this one really had me thinking that like all this shit was real. This one clip had me thinking like, okay, Stan, you got something going right here. So let's see. UFO in Stan.
Stan might be the man.
Romanek's backyard. Tell me this shit don't look real.
Oh yeah, nah, that shit do look real.
What else would that be?
Yeah, nah.
Oh, and you can see the negative too.
Oh yeah, no, I seen it when I was watching it earlier.
What else would that be?
Yeah, no way. I don't think you can fake that.
Like, and it zaps out of frame before it even leaves the frame, and then it ends up back there.
Right.
And this is what he saw. Well, that's what was captured on camera at the same time inside the house. And this is the orb
right.
that was by his trees that
Right.
looks like a cat laser.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I mean that shit looked kind of promising, and so when I saw that, I was like, Stan, you did it, boy, you did it. This the shit. This the one right here.
Could be. I mean, doesn't look like you can fake that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what else would it be?
Right.
So he even captured a video of an orb rolling around his crab apple tree on May 9th, 2005 at 12:35 a.m.
Then you get into the visitors of the night.
Yeah, and this one's actually very interesting, and I'll just read it because I've got some things to say.
On September 9, 2001, around 2 a.m., there's a knock at the door. Stan recalls waking up to continuous knocking on the front door. He got up and saw his sister was already at the door with it open. He looked past his sister and saw 3 people standing outside. Stan immediately assumed the visitors were robbers and started to approach his sister whilst panicking. He then noticed that his sister's mouth was in awe and her eyes were wide open.
I'd be scared.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That reminds me of The Fourth Kind. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, we did watch it, but
Yeah.
it was a terrible time.
Yeah.
It was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just interesting things.
Surprised by this, Stan called out her name and no response. It seemed as if she were asleep. The group of
In a
visitors...
trance.
The visitors included 2 males and 1 female. Well, it's nice to know there's more than just, one gender or sex.
Yeah, like they're not just an like a thing, you know?
They're not just androgynous.
Yeah.
Stan was scared at this point and started screaming, but it was in his head. No sound was coming out.
That would freak the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But how would you know? Like...
I mean, I guess it's the same way with, a conscience, because, we talk to
I
ourselves
guess,
all the
like
time.
hearing that voice inside your head.
Yeah. The female responsibly grabbed his wrist and put a thought in his mind. You're okay. It's going to be okay. This thought wasn't his, but instead it was hers.
That scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because why you putting thoughts in my head? You got powers. Like, what? I mean, not really powers. Really, they're just advanced, they're able to use a certain amount of their brain that we just can't.
And I mean, to us, it's considered powers because we don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
but think about it. If we were able to unlock other parts of our brain, we would be able to do those same things.
Possibly, yeah. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
This terrified him and snapped him out of their trance. He then grabbed one of the men and tried throwing him over the balcony, but was instantly tapped on the back of his head and he awoke somewhere else. Oh. So he thought he was just finna manhandle these niggas. He thought, oh, that's crazy.
Try to throw his ass over the edge. They was like, nah. Nah, nigga, nah.
Check this out.
You got the wrong ones. Bro, that's all it take? One finger on my neck?
That's funny.
They're powerful. Those are some powerful
fun.
beings. So, next we have visitors and calls. On September 27th, 2005, he captures a picture of his back deck. Now, this shit had me thinking that, how can this man be lying? Because, the picture of his back deck shows a visitor closely watching him. And to me,
just creeping back.
if aliens did come to visit us and they were just here chilling in people's backyards, this is what it would look like.
Cause what do you do? What do they do? What are they supposed to do?
No, but it looks so real. Yeah. It doesn't look like a puppet or nothing. The dude is just looking, just watching him. Ugh, I could not. I just could not. So, on August 8th, what? I did what you did. Yeah. On August 7th, 2004, strange calls were left on the answering machine. A person with an English accent warning Stan of what he is and the dangers of him and his family moving to Colorado Springs, aka their backyard. So on the answering machine, she was saying that they moved into their backyard, whoever they is, I don't know. But I'm not trying to be in anybody's backyard but my own. The person also stated that it will be all revealed, calling him Starseed at the end. And this is interesting because the name Starseed has been thrown around before. So, yeah. So, September 15th, 2004 at 9:30 a.m.
Oh, son. How cute.
Oh, goddamn. At 9:30 a.m., someone calls and Stan answers, finally getting a chance to talk to the stranger. Multiple accounts of him speaking on group calls to other experiencers and the stranger have been documented, including calls that include a third party, aka a little girl's voice, joining the conversation with brief messages referring to Stan as Daddy and stating that there are 7 of them in total. AKA, Stan has 7 alien kids. Well, yeah. And I think that, like, 3 of them are by, like, the same person, or 4 of them are by the same person, but, like, the other 3 are different. That's what she says. 3 of the same and the others different, or something like that. So, yeah. It is thought that, whilst in the air and in space, Stan and another experiencer, so another human, were being experimented on together to create a hybrid child. So they took her DNA, his DNA, put that shit together, probably added a little bit of their DNA, and created different variations of kids.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It is crazy, but, like, it's just weird because the little girl's voice on the phone calls, like, she sounds like a human. Like, she sounds like a regular little girl.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A few weeks leading up to December 6, 2008, Audrey, which is the mysterious female caller who has been calling, the stranger that we keep talking about, leaving voicemails and stuff like that, that's Audrey. Or somebody else, kept calling on and off. Stan saying that him and the individual would talk often, sometimes for up to 2 hours at a time.
About God, no.
So, like,
what?
Yeah, like, what are they talking about? And he doesn't really go into, he doesn't go into any type of context or details about what they were talking about. Just that they were talking for up to 2 hours. And on multiple occasions, not just one time. So what y'all talking about?
Where your wife at? Was she a part of the call, dude?
Right.
The end of a phenomenon or a hoax? Oof.
Or both.
Right. February 13th, 2014, Stan turns himself into Larimer County Jail. Larimer County Jail.
Oh, wait, before you jump into that, so everything we just talked about is all of the information that we gathered. There is more, but and the whole him having kids thing is a whole thing of its own. But there's just so much information with this story that we cut it there. So now we're going to get into the aftermath, and
this is where things get.
This is where shit gets real crazy. Yeah. This is where the shit really is just like, damn. Yeah, this nigga been going through some shit, you know?
Shit gets murky up in here.
Very.
February 13th, 2014, Stan turned himself into, how you say that? Larimer County Jail for possessing and distributing child pornography.
Of all things.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
August 8th, 2017, Stan was found guilty of felony possession of child pornography. Following this, December 14, 2017, Romanek was sentenced to 2 years in a corrections facility. He was then put into a level 3 program, but most recently on November 30th, 2020, Stan was resentenced to 10 years of sex offender intensive probation for violating his original terms.
Yeah, which he claimed he couldn't refrain from violating his original terms because of medical reasons or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's also crazy because he's still in that bitch till this day. Which, as he should be.
Yeah, no, that's just weird.
So, yeah, real weird. So, you want to bullet point back and forth?
Yeah, let's go.
So,
I got it. I'll start. More than 300 pictures and video files were found on Romanek's computers.
AKA too damn much.
Yeah.
One is too damn much. It should not be on there at all.
300 though?
Yeah, it's very excessive. And I don't know how that goes. I don't know how people in that world do that type of stuff. But, I mean, in a sense, it makes sense that there's that much if he was distributing.
Right.
So, Stan made public allegations about the government. And he also claimed they planted the evidence on his computers.
I mean, it's one thing to point, the finger at the government.
But think about it. If all this alien stuff was true, it would make sense. Because the government damn sure can do shit like that.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Really.
Exactly. So, if, all of this is true, then maybe, what if? There is that what if factor. Could it have been the government?
Could have been.
Because the government does a lot of shit that they shouldn't do. So...
At this point, Romanek was so desperate, he even tried to blame his stepson for the inappropriate content.
Yeah. And that kind of just shows that, okay, this wasn't about the government. This wasn't about aliens. This man really just didn't want to own up to his faults. Didn't want to own up to his actions. Just failed to take accountability. And that's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You're that disgusting of a person, and you're trying everything in your power to throw it off on everybody else. The damn government, dude! Your stepson?
Yeah.
Because the courts dismissed the government.
And the government is a hell of a reach. Cause,
that's what I'm saying. That's why they dismissed it.
Yeah.
When he was, going through his trial, they dismissed the government completely. Because they were like, okay, nigga, you're just trying to throw the government under the bus because you're this guy that has all these alien encounters,
Right.
But they were like, where's the proof? So
exactly.
So when he didn't have any, he was like, well, if it wasn't the government, my stepson.
Sure.
That's the one.
Yeah, that nigga be wildin'.
Yeah.
It wasn't me at all.
Right. So after all of this, Stan's defense attorney stated that Stan would be fighting for an appeal soon.
And to this day, a request to appeal has not been submitted.
Yeah.
So
which is good because
he's not,
there's no point.
Right.
What are you gonna try? Why would you even try? It's kind of pointless. I mean, I think he deserves to be where he is for doing what he did, And that goes for everybody that has actually done something and it has been proven and there's evidence and undeniable proof that they're guilty of what they're being accused of, then yes, do what the fuck, needs to be done.
300 or so pictures or videos.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That type of
stuff.
It's
disgusting.
You can't explain that away. There's no way.
There's no excuse.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's just disgusting. It's pure disgusting.
Straight up.
Pure, just gross. So, tell us what you guys think about Stan and his shenanigans.
Let's do Stan, his encounters.
Yeah, his encounters. What do you think about the strange painters outside his house? Could it have been the Men in Black?
And
we should do a video about the Men in Black. That would be deep. That's a whole thing.
The Men in Black theory is a whole nother
I don't even think it's a theory anymore because there's a lot of witness accounts of people running into it's just crazy. So now we're going to roll into our ending questions, and we have 5 of them today.
Yeah,
because there's just a lot going on with this episode. There's just a lot. So you can go ahead with the first one.
So, do you think the circles in Stan's yard could have been small crop circles? Honestly, I'm gonna say yeah.
Putting everything into account?
I'm gonna say
maybe.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a yeah. I'm gonna say yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna say yeah for it. Because looking at them, those circles.
I mean, they are precise.
Yeah, they're a little precise for a regular human to just be out there doing it. Unless you're tracing something, but even then, you can still mess it up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Human error. It's inevitable.
Right.
But in his backyard though, Small, but the thing is, like, I've never heard of small crop circles before.
Could be a new
until
thing.
that.
Right.
Like, that's just never been a thing.
Right.
So the second question is, do you believe Stan's story? Do you believe Stan's story? Because,
It's... Oof. Shit.
I believe it to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's like...
I believe it,
for me,
and I don't.
For me, when it comes to the sightings and that type of stuff, I'll go with that. Like, I'll believe that. But in terms of, like, maybe...
All of them?
Not all of them.
I don't believe. I don't believe the peeping Tom alien.
Yeah, nah.
We didn't even get into that. Really.
Nah.
That's what he's most famous for.
I'll say a couple of them. Probably like the one where you showed me the one in the backyard, like
flying over his house.
Yeah,
boy.
Now that one I'll have to say because like
that should look cool too.
You can't
but the cat laser in the trees.
Yeah, it's a little questionable. So in overall, if I do really believe a story, it's a maybe. It's a strong maybe.
I can say the same.
Yeah.
Maybe. I believe some things. I don't believe all things. But the things that I do believe in his story, I don't fully confidently believe.
Right. So
but I am leaning more towards that shit seems plausible. Yeah, but is it legit? You know?
Right.
So I don't know. It's a hit and miss for me.
So the third question asks, how do you feel about Stan as a person today?
Stan who? Stan's a person?
If it's not Stan Lee, I don't care.
But like, just knowing what he's done and who he is today, I just think that he deserves everything that he is going through currently, and that's just that.
I just can't get behind it, man. Like,
it's not okay.
It's not cool, man.
Never has been, never will be.
Like that, and then expect for people to just,
to just be cool with it and just overlook it because you're the guy that's encountered aliens.
Right. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, cool, you saw aliens, but like this other stuff, like it outweighs that,
Yes, very much so.
So
yeah.
Sorry, buddy, but I'm not a fan.
yeah, he's definitely not somebody that I would just fucking, oh my God, Stan Romanek. No.
Yeah,
no. So the fourth question is, do you believe we are alone in the uni? And no, of course not. I don't believe we're alone. I never have, actually.
Why would we be?
It just doesn't make sense to me. And honestly, it makes more sense that we aren't alone than it does if we were.
Honestly, it's so much better that we're not alone because...
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because I have read something before that basically said the theory of us being alone in the universe is actually scarier than the theory that we're not alone.
Yeah, no,
because think about it. If we were just alone out here on a fucking rock flying through darkness alone, like, that's it. It's just us. That's creepy as hell.
It's just weird to me.
To think that we're the only thing that's breathing and alive. Like,
it just don't make sense to me because we have all these other planets, all these other galaxies around. You mean to tell me out of all of that, nothing else?
That just doesn't sit right with me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And that's honestly more scary than if there is other things. Because if there are other things out there, it makes sense. Like, okay, there's us. So, I could see how something else could survive out there. But if it's just us, it's kind of like, okay, why the fuck are we here?
Exactly. What's the purpose?
Yeah.
Which is an age-old question that we're never going to know the
answer
to.
We're never going to know, yeah.
The last question brings us to, have you experienced or met anyone who has experienced ET encounters?
Yes.
And so,
we have. We definitely have.
We've seen some things, guys.
Yeah.
We have seen some things.
And it wasn't that long ago. It was just last year.
Yeah.
But we weren't prepared like Stan Romanek, so we didn't get to, we don't have any proof of what we saw, but we've seen things multiple times, like 3 different times. Well, 3 for you, 2 for me, because I missed it one time because I was on my phone.
Yep.
And that just pisses me off to this day. Because, like, why? The internet, goddamn, the internet just had to be in my face. Why? I'm always on my phone. I need to chill out. I'm so upset with myself.
It's like, hey, dude.
No, it's not.
There
You
will be
only get
other
to see that
times.
shit, like, dude.
Man, we about to go to Mars. They'll be back. They coming to see what we got
We
going
finna
on.
go to them.
Yeah.
For real. So, that was episode 15. That was a fun one. That was really fun.
Yeah,
and
it was great, man.
We hope you guys had fun in today's episode like we did. And just tell us everything. Tell us all your thoughts about this shit. Because
have you guys encountered anything crazy?
Yeah. Let us know. Like, if you have experienced anything, or if you've heard stories or know anybody that's experienced anything, let us know, because it's always interesting to hear, and we're not going to discredit anybody, because we personally have seen some shit and we believe what we saw was legit and real. Yeah, like it was inhumane. So yeah, we're the last person or the last people to try to discredit anybody, because we wouldn't want anybody discrediting us. And actually, when we did talk about our experience on Facebook, like, I made a little post about it because I was scared. Like, what the fuck? Like, I need confirmation. A lot of people commented on my post and were saying that recently they've been seeing things as well. So I don't want to say there's a rise in UFO sightings or strange phenomena, but I think it's just more documented these days, and the limelight is on it. Now is the time, because you notice everybody's been talking about this shit.
I'm gonna just put it like this: this ain't the 90s no more. This ain't the 80s no more. This ain't the 70s. Like, we see everything,
everything's recorded.
Like,
everything.
Yeah. So you know,
everything is seen by somebody or something. So
there's never a time where you'll just have something that nobody's seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on that note, do you have anything for our little closing?
The only thing I can say is keep your head up, stay positive, keep striving, keep doing what you do, because you're doing the damn thing, and ain't nobody doing it like you. So
ain't nobody gonna do it like you.
I swear to God, bro, literally. And the thing about it is, I'm gonna leave you guys off with this little token. So just last week, I made this Facebook post about, like, it was just a written Facebook post. And the Facebook post said, the best part about being me is me. And that's straight up. Like, that's facts. So just cherish yourself and love yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else can.
It's impossible, man. And on my end, I will leave you guys with this. Get more hobbies. Start doing more things.
Get outside.
Literally, go outside, man. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the whatever you got. You know, just get out there and breathe a little.
Yeah.
I mean, the air might be a little polluted, but that's
especially
fine.
with everybody, like, y'all, with us being stuck in the house and stuff. This is stuff that we're not used to.
Yeah.
So really taking the time to just enjoy the world around you, enjoy nature, enjoy the outdoors. It's very crucial these days, because over time, you can lose sight of the importance of the little things, you know?
Yeah, man. All the things that make you who you are, I mean, you got to work on them. And it's like, you know, we do a podcast, you might bake.
Oh, we do more than a podcast. We have lots of hobbies.
Yeah, we do a lot of things.
But the podcast is our baby. So.
Yeah, we do a lot of things, but nonetheless, do what you love, keep doing it.
And do it well.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So, with that being said, stay light, stay bright, stay positive. I've been your host, DJ.
And I've been your host, Sam.
And we will catch you next time on
Deeper Than Most.